Hi guys, I'm back with another exciting video on Google Gemini Pro. So in this video we are going to develop an end-to-end Q&A chatbot using Gemini Pro model. So before proceeding it, let's start with some basic. So what all steps we have to perform to develop an end-to-end project. So the first step is we'll create an virtual environment and we'll activate that environment. Under that we'll create our project. So let's get started. So for creating the virtual environment there were various ways. So we are going to use the conda or the mini conda to create the virtual environment. If you don't have conda or mini conda, I have created a separate video how we can create a virtual environment in VS Code using mini conda. You can refer that. And just for reference, if just go to web and download the mini conda, install the application, and once you're done with your application install, then you have to take copy some of the paths into the system variable for the mini conda. So the three paths that you have to copy is, one is under the conda bin. So just go here, copy this path, and then the other two paths are, you have to take it from scripts, and the third part is under library under bin. So copy all these three paths, go to your system environment variables, and just click on environment variables, click on path, and copy these three paths here, and just click OK. So this will complete your setup for conda. So if you are already done it, well and good. So now we'll create a path a virtual environment in VS Code. So creating a virtual environment in VS Code, there are two paths. Like one is we'll do the setup of conda, then we'll run the command conda create -p virtual env, then your virtual environment name followed by Python, which version of Python you want to install, -y. So for this, just go here, click on open new terminal, just select command prompt, and you have to write conda create -p env, which is your virtual environment name or whatever name that you want to give. And then Python is equal to 3.10, and so Google Gemini Pro work on Python version 3.9 and above, so I'm taking 3.10 and then -1. So once you run this command, it will create a env folder in your current directory. So like this, env has been created, and with all the required libraries and all the packages that is being needed. So once this is done, then your next command is to conda activate your virtual environment name. So this will activate your virtual environment. So these two steps to set up your virtual environment, and then we'll create you'll just click over here, new file, and create one file as in .env file. So the .env file is basically we are going to use to store all our API keys and our username or password. So we'll create a .env file, and we'll place our Google API key over there. To generate the Google API key, you can just simply go to makersuite.google.com/app/API key, and you can just click here, create API key, new project. This will create your API key. Currently it is completely free, so you can generate your own. Copy this API key and paste in the .env file. Create a .env file and paste like this: Google API key, Google_API_key is equal to your API key. So this is your second step. So once this has been done, then we'll create again one new file as in requirement.txt. So here we are going to list all the packages that we are needed for our application development. Here I listed Streamlit, which we are going to use for the front ending of the application, Google Generative AI to access the Gemini Pro model, and python.env to access or to load the environment variable. So you just list this and then you have to install all these packages. So for that you have to just write pip install minus r space requirements.txt, and you have to press enter. This will install all the packages which you list in your requirements.txt file. So once this has been done, so it will take few second or few minutes for you to get all this done. So once this has been done, then what we have to do is again we'll create a new file and save it at app.py. So a blank file is being opened, a Python file. So here we are going to write our code for the application. So we divide our whole code into three sections. First, where we are going to initialize and load all the packages or libraries that we want, then defining the functions to perform the actions, and at last we'll design the front end using the string. So first we'll take all the environment variables, so which is been from .env import load underscore .env, and then we'll just initialize it load underscore .env, and we are done. So next we'll import OS, then we'll say import Streamlit as st, then we'll say import google.generative AI as GenAI. Then we'll have to configure the generative AI. So how we can do is GenAI dot configure API key is equal to OS dot get env. So we'll get the environment variables under this, as we mentioned. We save our Google API key, so we'll write Google underscore API underscore key, which we saved under the .env file. So it will fetch the Google API key from there. So you don't have to explicitly pass here. Otherwise, you can explicitly write your Google API key here. So once this is done, then we'll say which model we want to use. So we said model is equal to GenAI dot generative model, and we have to mention the model name, which is in our case is Gemini Pro. So we are done with the initialization. Now we'll define the function. So for that we'll say define get underscore Gemini Pro underscore response. We'll pass the question as in parameter. Okay, so what we want is we want to generate the content from the model. So we'll set we take one variable as response where we'll collect the uh, content. So we'll say model dot generate content. So there is a defined inbuilt function, and we pass the question as in parameter to generate the content on that. Then we'll say return response.txt. So this will return the response in the text form. So once this is done, then what we are going to do is we'll define our front ending of the application. So for that we'll say st dot set page config, and here we say page title is equal to, we give some page title like Gemini Pro first QA app. So once this is done, then we'll create one header. So we'll say st dot header, and we'll give one name as Gemini LLM QA Chatbot, and then we want the input from the user. So we create a variable as an input, and we want the this question. So we'll say st dot text input, and then we'll mention the label for that. So we said question, and key is equal to input. So the user have to type from the keyboard, he has to type his question. So once this is done, so we need a submit button. So we create one more variable as submit is equal to st dot, which is of type button, and we'll give the button name as submit your question. So this is it. So once this is done, if the user click on the submit button, then we want to create one subheader for response, and then we want the response that model generated to be displayed. So for that we said if submit, so that means if the submit button is being clicked, then it will create a subheader. We say st dot subheader, we'll say response to your question is, and then we want the response. So we create a variable as response is equal to, then we'll call that function get Gemini Pro response, and we pass this input question which we received from the user. So now we collect the response in the response variable. So now we want it to be printed. So we said st dot write, and we want to write the response. Okay, so I think we are done with the code. So let's try and run it. So for running the code, you will just again open a terminal, or maybe in your previous terminal you can just run the Streamlit app. So for running it, we'll write the Streamlit space run space your application name, that is app.py. Before running it, just save your code in the app.py, and then we can press enter. So if there is no error, it will run the application. If there is an error, it will populate that error. So let's see. Okay, yeah, so it ran our application successfully. As you can see, the page title Gemini Pro first QA app, Gemini LLM QA chatbot, which was our header, then a input and a submit question button. So we'll ask one simple query. For example, write a poem on love, and we click on submit your question. So we got a subheader, response to your question is, and as you see, the query is running, the model is fetching the response, and it generates a wonderful poem for you. Let's try something else. What is the capital of England? Let's see if this is working. Yep, so it gives the proper response as London. So this is it, guys, from this video. In the coming videos we are going to use Gemini Pro Vision to do some hands-on with the images. So if you like this video, please do subscribe my channel and like this video as well. Thank you for now.